What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Wizard Podcast. We're talking all things comics. I'm Brett with my co-host Warren. This week, pause for dramatic effect. The first thing we're going to talk about is this incredible deleted scene from the Batman movie. I'm pretty excited about this.
I see that.
I mean, Batman's my favorite. Everybody knows Batman is my ultimate favorite. But this scene that just dropped today as we're shooting this is a.
Why did they drop the scene? Like, I feel like they would drop it like as it's coming out on like Blu-ray or stream. It's not coming to streaming yet, right?
No.
Yeah, that's
I don't care
kind
what.
of weird.
I mean, I absolutely love it.
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we finally got to see, and we knew that some scenes had been deleted, and there was an A version and a B version, and they had played it in the pre-screenings, and kind of gotten people's vibes for it. They ended up deleting this. It breaks my heart, but we finally.
The movie was over
see...
3 hours long.
It was 2 hours and 56 minutes. It was not fine. It should have been just over 3 hours. We finally got to see the Joker.
We did.
And not like you get to see him in the movie technically.
You see his shadow,
but it's like more shadowy. You don't really get to. But this, wowzers! I mean, full up. I mean, and like all of him, like the back of his head, his hand, like his whole.
It is disgusting.
It is, and I like it.
I mean, they definitely went with this dude got dropped in acid. I mean,
I love it. So apparently, his smile is permanent, and it's supposed to be like a genetic disorder. Apparently there's some kind of it's a real disease. I don't remember the name of it, but where like your face is like stuck.
I knew a guy in high school like exactly like that. It was this Indian guy, yeah, and he was the happiest guy I ever knew. I don't know how happy he actually was, but yeah, he permanently had a smile on his face.
So apparently
I hadn't even thought about that dude until you.
That's crazy. So yeah, no, that's apparently that's what they were, because every Joker is a little different, you know what I mean? We never really know how they are, why they are, or whatever. But in this one, apparently Barry Keoghan is permanently from birth like that. Mm-hmm. That, however, does not explain his overall physical appearance.
Oh yeah, he's all burnt
because that is violent.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this trailer, I mean, he looks like
he got dropped in a vat of acid.
And there was something in the acid that had survived and was violently attacking him while he was in the acid.
Oh, when it showed the fingers.
Oh yeah, his hands. All I mean, everything about him is violently scarred and disfigured.
Yeah,
like his head, his hair is like patchy.
Now, most of the scene is in. You don't actually see him clearly. It's
I like how they did that.
And then they would come in and they would show just a super close up of like this
part of him. Yeah, and just
zoom around. Yeah. So you don't actually see his full face in clarity through the whole thing.
Dude, I love that.
It's a big tease for
the way they did. That was some true. It took work to do that. Instead of it just being a scene, kind of like with him and the Riddler on both sides of the glass, where it was just, oh, hey, there you are, here I am.
Yeah.
They put in some extra work and to make that a bit more cryptic and creepy, and wow. I loved it. And his mouth.
It was pretty gross. It was pretty gnarly. It was pretty gnarly.
I'm now very... the second movie is going to be insane. I can't wait. So, but, all hype boy fandom aside, that is not what we're here to talk about today. That's just a little side bit that I wanted
today. So
yeah, I mean, we had to talk about it. So actually, what we are going to talk about today is the two big upcoming things from Marvel. So those two things being Moonknight, the Disney Plus TV show, which drops on March 30th.
Yep. And
then the Morbius movie, which drops April 1st.
We're only talking about things that start with MO today. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mo movies, mo problems. Let's go.
Wow. Solar Midnight 1 today.
I was about to say, I noticed it was gone. Yeah.
Literally half an hour ago. Guy called
Mr.
earlier and
Chance,
he's like, "Hey, do y'all still have the Moonknight 1?" And we're like, "Yep, sure do. $100."
He's like, I'm on my way.
And yeah, he's like, "I'm on my way up here." Came up, picked it up, and he said he's coming in next week to get that She-Hulk #1 if it's still here, which she's getting her own show. 250.
Ain't nobody
now.
Gonna go 250.
So here's the thing, that is a first appearance, whereas Moonknight 1 was not a first appearance.
Yeah, and that's so something we'll dive into.
Do you know what the first appearance of Moon Knight
Werewolf
is?
by Night number 32.
Okay. Do you know how much that comic is worth?
Oh yeah, because I did. So we're gonna dive into.
Okay.
I'm actually, that was a part of what I want to kind of go over. So I want to talk about our predictions for Morbius and Moon Knight, and also kind of like take a look at how, and we've talked about this so many times in the past, like how something being optioned for a TV or a show or a movie or whatever can change everything about the market in regards to that item.
Yeah.
So I did some homework or what have you, but I kind of want to talk about the show Moon Knight and the movie Morbius respectively, and then kind of like our predictions for it and which one we think is going to really kind of take the show, because they're literally 2 days apart from each other. Yeah. And then look at what this show and this movie have done to the sales of these books. I think that would be pretty interesting. So let's start with Moon Knight. It comes out first. It'll get the first light. So, Moon Knight. This show. What are you thinking about this?
I mean, so far the trailers I've seen for it look pretty exciting. I really like Oscar Isaac, and I like the character Moon Knight. So there's one movie where I did not like him, but I don't think it was his fault. I think it was more the director, producers. Like, I think they changed his character so much that.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're referring to X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely hated it. That was not Apocalypse.
I mean,
he just looked like
he looked different for sure.
Like just some
weird,
old man.
I mean, yeah.
And there are production photos of how they wanted Apocalypse to look initially, and it looked like Apocalypse.
Like he was like,
oh yeah, like
really
jacked. Like
I've never seen those photos. Oh, I bet that's dope.
Oh yeah, no.
Huh. Wow. Okay. That's
be quick to pull them up. Let me see here.
That's a bummer. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, as someone who knows who Apocalypse is, like, when you see him, you're like, no, that's just a blue dude. He's like a member of the Blue Man Group.
Yeah. He just looked like a blue old man. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he had powers and stuff, which was cool, but in the comics, man, that boy's a tank. That boy thick with 2 C's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a little, it's a little different.
God, that looks awful. As I see the pictures now.
You just like having flashbacks.
Oh, he just looks awful.
Oh, shoot. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I totally get what you're saying. But, I mean, Oscar Isaac, though, man, like, I have to agree with you. I think that,
tell me that wouldn't have been 1,000 times cooler looking.
It almost has like a Thanos vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I mean, that would have been incredible.
That is Apocalypse. This
just
looks like an old man. A blue old man.
Yeah, it's a shame.
We could have gotten a way, way, way cooler Apocalypse, and we did not.
But you know what? Oscar Isaac has one... Yeah, it's disappointing. Yeah.
But, I mean, so Oscar Isaac, I mean, of course, he's Poe Dameron.
He's what?
Poe Dameron in the Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry. You said that all in one word so quick that it just... All right, anyways, yeah,
so
totally.
Poe Dameron does an incredible job. I feel like he is probably one of, if not the best part of the newer Star Wars.
He's
I mean, there's a lot to complain about in the newer Star Wars movies.
We ain't even gonna get into it.
Poe Dameron, I really liked.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Ex Machina?
Yeah.
That was an incredible movie. It was him and
the other dude from Star Wars, the
redheaded
dude.
Yeah. General Hux. I can't think of his name.
Whatever.
He was also in Harry Potter. He was one of the Weasleys.
That's right. He's like the older one, isn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the Weasleys.
Oh, wow.
Of course he's redheaded.
Yeah, he had to be. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, dude, it's funny how much stuff they're in together that they don't. Ex Machina was incredible though.
Oh, Ex Machina was such a
that was a
movie.
mind twist at the end there, dude. Ooh, that would be next level. But I mean, I'm excited to see him get another hack at the Marvel game because he deserves one.
Yeah.
Like, Oscar Isaac is insane.
Yeah.
Like, which is funny because he's playing an insane person.
He is.
He is. So, Moon Knight first appears in comics 1971, right after they lift the ban on, or was it 1972? My apologies. 1972 is Werewolf by Night.
Yes. Now, they still have the comic code at this point, but they've lifted restrictions on the comic code.
Exactly.
Because originally, the comic code was so strict, they could, the good guys had to win.
You couldn't use the word undead.
So I don't know how true the story is, but there's an apocryphal story of, there's a famous creator, his name is Marv Wolfman, and the story goes that he couldn't even use his name in the books because his name was Wolfman. Marv Wolfman is just giant. I've heard this is just a legend and it's not true.
You never know, dude. The world's crazy, man. I don't know.
So yeah, it's crazy.
So he makes his first appearance fighting a werewolf, and then 8 years later, in 1980, finally gets his own first solo.
That's the one we saw today.
Yeah, his first appearance was just supposed to be but he was so well received by the comic community that they kept him going.
Yep.
I think that's so cool. Like,
he had gotten a few Marvel Spotlight books before
random little bits. Kind of. I think he hopped in with Spider-Man, with Hulk. He was all over the place, and I love the character himself. Like, I didn't know that much about Moon Knight until the show was announced. You kind of start doing some homework and stuff.
So what's crazy is a lot of people didn't know that much about Moon Knight, and for years, that book has been pretty expensive. Now, of course, it's more expensive.
It is incredibly.
It has been. It has always been a very expensive book for a first appearance of a character that didn't have a show. He's never had a show, never had a movie, never been in any kind of
talked about.
Yeah. He's never been in any other form of media. He might have popped into one of the cartoons or something at some point, but
if he did, I would. Don't even know it. Yeah.
I could see him being in maybe one of those old Iron Man or Spider-Man cartoons,
in the
90s. But I don't even know. I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah,
but,
right.
So now he's getting his own show, and how much is that book at right now?
Dude. Let's talk about it. So, I want to clarify. I did a little bit of homework so that we could talk about this because I thought it would be interesting to see how, and we talked about this before, how a TV option or a movie option can blow up literally any character.
Now, what are the prices you have? Are these like 9/8?
So I only looked at 9/8 in auction.
Okay.
The only thing I looked at
sold.
Yep, sold. I didn't want to, there's way too much sales data to tackle all at one time. So I thought, you know what? It's best version, sold at auction. What did it look like? So here are some numbers, fam. In 2013, auctioned at $3,000. Okay, that was almost 10 years ago. Right, no one cared. 2015.
So a raw now is worth more than that. That's crazy.
Dude, just wait. So 2 years later, 2015, it auctions for $15,000. More than that's 5 times in 2 years. Yeah. Then it gets a little weird. We go to 2017. It auctions off for less than that at just under $13,000. Okay. So 2017,
it's a dip.
People, everything goes up and down, but here's what I thought was funny. 2017, it dips back down. Guess when the show was announced?
2017? Or was it 2020?
2020.
Was it 2020? Okay. I was thinking 2017 sounds like way too long back.
In 2020, this book sold for $31,200.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is a 1,000% increase.
So you got 2 things going for it. One, it's got the show announced.
Right.
2, you were also in the COVID. During COVID, comics shot up.
Yeah.
Everybody
started collecting.
The collector market shot up.
True.
So it had both of those things going for it in 2020, which just
this information right here almost scared me.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's super weird. Like now, 2022, a 7.5 grade.
Yeah.
Sold for $3,500.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just looking at raw data right now. A 9.2, that's what they consider high.
Yeah.
Is selling at 4.1K. This is just a raw comic book that you would estimate at a 9.2.
Man,
a mid grade is 1.3 and a low grade is 480. Now I remember when I was a kid. I mean, this book has always been high. In the 90s, when I was a kid, this book was a multi-$100 book. So it's always been like unattainable for me. You know? And it's just as I've gotten older,
now its
price keeps going up.
The gap has gotten so much bigger. That is insane. And now, of course, we're talking. I'm talking 9.8s. I'm talking like the highest grade. I don't believe there's anything on the census higher than a 9.8 of Werewolf by Night. We can look at that real quick. But that just goes to show, like, I mean, seriously, like, the book started to lull in 2017, and people truly just kind of like, eh. And then, man, soon as that show hits, $31,000. It blows my mind.
So right now, mycomicshop.com has a 9.4 for $11,500, a 9.0 for $6,200. The cheapest one that you can get right now is a 3.5 for $1,800. So CGC census data, yeah, there's 19 9.8s.
Nothing above that. That is, and that doesn't surprise me. It's a normal
finding a 9.8 or finding anything above a 9.8 for a saddle stitched comic is almost unheard of.
There's
few some 9.9s. The 10s just don't exist. Saddle stapled are your standard
single issue books. Yeah.
Now square bound books are where you get your 9.9s, 10s, stuff like that.
Hey. Yeah.
With that gold label.
I mean, it just. So, all right. So, sales data aside, let's talk about the show itself. Mark Spector, aka Moonknight, a professional boxer, military training to be mercenary, becomes the avatar of Khonshu, the moon god, by being backstabbed and left for dead in the desert. Yep. And then is found, brought into a temple. Khonshu comes to him in a dream and says, hey, if you will become my avatar, I will save you, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Then he does, and then he goes back to New York City, where he has amassed a wealth of money that he uses to become a vigilante. A lot of people call him the Batman of Marvel. Yeah. I mean, and kind of rivalry stuff. They're pretty similar, except Moon Knight is out of his damn mind.
He has what do they call it now?
Multiple personality disorder.
No, that's not what it's called anymore.
Schizophrenia?
No. Dissociative.
Oh, dissociative personality
disorder. Yeah, that's it.
So
multiple personalities. That's
he has four of them. Yes. 4 or 5-ish, whatever. We could kind of split the last one in half, but he has
Mark Spector.
His main who he is.
Lockley.
Jake Lockley, which is like his low down skeevy version of himself.
He's the taxi driver.
He's the one that he uses to have connections with dirty criminal people and get info. And then we have Stephen Grant, which is his Bruce Wayne.
That's the movie star.
Yeah, his his bougie version of Jake Lockley. Then we have Moonknight.
Yes.
Who can also be identified as Mr. Knight.
That's Moonknight with a suit.
Yeah, like the fancy.
Which we got to see that in Vanity Fair, so that's exciting that we're going to get to see that in the show. And this is what, a 6 episode? Or is it 8 episode?
I think it's 6.
Okay.
But don't quote me. But what are your thoughts for this? Where do you think, because they just announced 2 or 3 days ago that this show will have no tie-ins to any current Marvel characters.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I really enjoyed the Daredevil shows, and they had very brief mentions of what was going on. It was when the aliens invaded, and the big green guy you know, that kind of thing. And those shows worked very well together. So I mean, I'm fine with just a standalone Moon Knight show. Like, I don't need to see Captain America in my Moon Knight show.
Right, like more like a character study.
Yeah, exactly. In the comics, Moon Knight does not play well with other superheroes.
Imagine why.
He is a little more violent than the others.
And so, what are your thoughts on the bad guy? Who's the bad guy in this? I've seen what's his name?
It's Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, but who is he?
We don't know for sure.
Okay,
so
I was trying to look into it. I'm not.
They're saying that he may be the sun god. He may be
Ra, right?
Yeah. So, but we just don't know for sure yet. I really like Ethan Hawke. Now, have you seen the little teaser that they threw out? I think yesterday.
I think I'm all caught up on the.
This is the one where the three of them are just sitting in a room and not allowed to.
Oh, the waiting room.
Yeah.
I haven't. I saw it today and I almost clicked on it, but I was in the middle of something. Okay.
It was pretty funny. So it's just them sitting in a room trying to figure out what to do. It's Ethan Hawke, Oscar Isaac, and then the woman. I don't know who she is.
Who's gonna be? Yeah.
So they're just sitting in a waiting room, and they're not allowed to leave the waiting room until the show comes out because Marvel doesn't want them to give spoilers.
Wow,
that was pretty funny.
That's hilarious. I'm very curious to see where this show goes.
Yeah,
we've seen him fighting monsters that apparently there's like the Ethan Hawke is like summoned out of the ground.
Yeah.
I'm really.
So I can't remember the name of the character that they said Ethan Hawke was, but his first appearance shot up. And then
shocking.
Yeah, but now that character wasn't the sun god, but then they're saying that he may that may be a trick that he's actually Ra, the sun god. So who knows?
Here's what
we won't know until.
And this is just me being speculator man, but they said no current Marvel characters.
Yes. So I'm sure there's got to be some tie into the future, or do you think they're going to have?
I'm saying it right now. Blade.
It's definitely possible. Yeah. And
you know why I'm thinking that? Midnight Suns.
Okay. Yeah. No, that could be a good introduction for Marshall Ali. Because I don't know how to say his name.
Because we got his voice at the end of Eternals. That don't mean nothing.
That was a weird place.
It was weak.
Introduce him.
Weak sauce.
Yeah. I want to see him with the sunglasses and the. I'm excited.
And
he's a very good actor.
And we see Moon Knight fighting monsters, so I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, what a great place. And now they actually have a Midnight Suns video game coming out. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I've not heard that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, trailer looks fire. Like, it's not my favorite style of game. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. It's like almost like a turn-based.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of that, but honestly,
those kind of games.
Just because it's those characters and it looks so compelling, I might check that out. But part of me is thinking Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns?
I think they're going to mess around and maybe do a Blade bit somewhere in here. Because, I mean, what a great way to pull him in. But, I don't know. Speaking of Blade, that actually pulls us into our next vampire-based bit.
I know a little bit about Moon Knight. I've read the last few runs of Moon Knight.
I really want to.
Pretty big Moon Knight fan. The Jeff Lemire run of Moon Knight was just absolutely incredible.
Which one was that? I just saw a bunch of the titles.
3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
It was.
I'm gonna check it out. I really want. I'd love to get some of my Moon Knight on.
I'm a big Jeff Lemire fan.
I mean, who isn't? He's the one who did Sweet Tooth, right?
He did Sweet Tooth.
Dude,
he did
storytelling through the roof, man.
He did what was that one? Ascender, Descender, Little Monsters.
Yeah.
He just did a Robin and Batman. It was a retelling of the origin of Robin. And it was him and Dustin Nguyen, the same guy that did Ascender and Descender and Little Monsters with him, and it was so good.
That's awesome.
What else? He did all of the Black Hammer universe. That was his.
That's right. That is his baby, isn't it?
Yeah. He did that.
I need to check that out too, man. I'm slacking.
It's pretty good. What I've read, I haven't read all of it. So, like, this was the Jeff Lemire run. If you've seen like these covers,
I've seen a few of those. Yes.
Yeah, I love this cover.
Got it. Okay.
And it what was great about that was it really delved into the dissociative disorder. And
I think that's what this show's gonna.
Well, so in this, like, by the end of reading it, like, you didn't know if he was actually Moon Knight. Like, it was that messed up. Like,
check it out.
Is Moon Knight just all in his head, or is he actually Moon Knight and out fighting bad guys? the current Moon Knight's not like that. Like he is Moon Knight.
That sickness is real.
Yeah.
Man. Like that's.
So that's exciting.
Speaking of sickness, we just keep having these boss segues, dude. Morbius, man. So is there a March 31st?
January, February, March. Yes.
I thought you said
January, February, March.
Oh, you start at the top of this one.
Yeah, you start at the top of this knuckle. So
January has
31. February does not. March does.
So there is a 1 day gap between
It's April 1st.
Yep. Between Moon Knight dropping and Morbius dropping.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's a Wednesday and then a Friday. So
love it. So Morbius, the living vampire, because
this is not a character that I am as well versed in, because I've never been as much of a Spider-Man fan as I have pretty much anything else in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I have anything against Spider-Man. It's just that Spider-Man had so many books going on. Always, yes.
He's like the Batman of Marvel in that aspect, yeah.
So many Spider-Man books, and it was hard to keep up with Spider-Man and keep up with everything else. So I kind of chose everything else over Spider-Man. I do read every Spider-Man book that's out now. Nice. Morbius is in the current Spider-Man run right now.
Really?
Yeah, okay. He's teamed up with the Daughters of the Dragon right now. That's Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. And they keep calling him Dr. Mike, and I love it.
Okay.
Michael Morbius.
Michael Morbius.
So,
okay. All right.
So what was your research on Dr. Mike?
Nothing really out there. I mean,
what was
Michael
his first
Morbius.
Appearance?
First appearance is Amazing Spider-Man 101. Came out in 1971. Which was the year after the big comic ban was lifted, right? And they had to call him the living vampire because you couldn't say the undead, which is just like, what? So, Michael Morbius is sick, and in his origins, he tries to use electroshock therapy and vampire bats to cure himself. And instead of being successful, well, he kind of is successful in a way. He does cure himself. However, he does also infect himself and turns into the living vampire. You know, he gets sonar and the ability of flight and of, the thirst for blood. And I mean, he also, he gets all the bad sides, the unquenchable thirst for blood and aspersion to the light, all that kind of stuff. But he also has, super strength and all kinds of, really cool stuff that who doesn't wish they had, right? But, he also, and this was kind of where the whole Blade part kind of kicked in, he is also, obviously tied in, because he's a vampire, with Blade. And personally, if it doesn't happen in Moon Knight, I think it's going to happen in Morbius.
Well, no, and I don't think it will.
You never know,
because
you never know.
Morbius is not being produced by Disney. Morbius is a Sony film.
True, but
now I have heard that
Michael Keaton is in it.
Yes, I have heard that they are tying in some, but Michael Keaton was also in a Sony Disney picture. So,
well, yeah, but all of the know that they're all in the same universe now.
We do, yes, but while Sony is giving rights to Marvel to use their property like Spider-Man, right, I don't think Disney's going to give the rights to introduce a character as big as Blade, especially. I don't see it happening. I'd be shocked.
So let me ask you this: do you think that they'll use this movie to bring together the Sinister Six, which is what we've all speculated for years now? No, you don't think so?
So, and here's why. A few years ago, I would have said yes, probably, but no. I think now that they've seen how much money they can make with just letting Disney make these Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a Spider-Man thing. I don't think they're going to use these one-off Sony movies to do it. Now, because there was originally a plan to make a Sinister Six Sony movie.
Yeah, they actually planned that at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like,
yes,
they were going to have the Dr. Octopus arms, the Rhino suit, the Vulture wings. Like, that is such a shame that got poo-pooed. Like,
if that had happened,
would've
would
been
we have gotten
fire.
Michael Keaton's Vulture?
No, but
Michael Keaton's
we'd be on a
Vulture
different
was
path.
amazing.
Yeah, true. And I'm excited to see him in this movie. But I do hope that they do something with it. Like, I hope they, like, maybe we don't see all the characters, but it's like, hey, I'll put together a team or something.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe like a statement that you're like, oh, it's on. Like, that would be really nice. Like, so right now, what we know about
and
this
is
movie,
Morbius a bad guy also? I mean, that's
so
because he's always been kind of an anti-hero.
Yeah, so right now we have full-blown anti-hero vibes from this movie, these trailers, and because of the Venom deal, and it's funny that you even hear him say we are Venom or whatever in the trailer when he's messing with that dude. He's like, no, I'm just kidding, I'm Dr. Michael Morbius. I'm here to help you. I think that's gonna be very entertaining. But yes, we are still getting strong anti-hero vibes because of the fact, one, you literally see him kind of know what I mean, wrenching people up, so that's not a good guy thing. But we also have a villain for the movie.
I don't even know.
His name is Hunger.
Oh, I don't know who that is. So Sony has taken a lot of liberties outside of comics, whereas MCU has, I mean, they have, but not as much.
Right.
So it could be a totally new character. I mean, you watch the Venom movies. Those Venom movies take a lot of liberties.
Apparently, a guy named Hunger is what we're thinking is going to be the bad guy. Who knows? Honestly, I was curious as to how that was going to pan out the entire time. Like, why are you fighting? How is there I get it, like, you turn into a vampire, you're sad and mad about it, but like, what's the conflict here? You know what I mean? Other than you're a vampire. So maybe Hunger will be the bad guy, maybe not, but I guess we're gonna find out. But you know what?
So how much is how's that book gone up? So sales, thanks to the announcement of the Morbius TV show. Dyslexia is real. Don't let anyone tell you it's different. Yes, it is a movie. Thank you. So, just like Moonknight, started in 2013, almost 10 years ago. First appearance of Morbius, ASM 101, sold at auction for $2,900. That's respectable. I can get down with that. That's what's up. Then in 2014, pretty big spike. It goes to $5,676. In 1 year, that's a pretty good jump, especially considering there was nothing that popped off. There was no, he still hadn't been optioned. Then we jump up 2 years, 2016, we're at $7,767. Then, just like with Moonknight, 2019, we go down a little bit to $7,235. Okay, that's not too big of a dip.
And guess what year it was announced that Morbius was getting a movie?
Was it 2021?
2020.
2020. Okay.
Just like Moonknight.
Okay.
And in 2021, this book sells for $22,200.
So the raw prices right now, a high at 9.2 is like a 3K book. A mid, which is like a 6, is a 1K book, and a low is 300. So yeah, well, that makes sense.
Guys, that right there just goes to show what hype can do, or hype and speculation can do for literally any. I mean, even Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Dude, no one even cared that he existed 5 years ago, and then all of a sudden, Suicide Squad drops, and now his book is a grail that people are out there searching for.
So here's another really good example. Back before Guardians of the Galaxy, Incredible Hulk 272 was a $1 bin book. I mean,
it was a
all day
nothing
long.
book.
The last time I sold one, just a raw
Couldn't
mid-grade
give
copy.
one away, dude.
Yeah, it's this first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, it's like you're looking at $250 book. I mean, just a raw mid-grade.
It's so crazy. Yo, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
All
so,
right.
yeah, I just wanted to touch on that stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. These things are dropping.
Hopefully we'll be able to watch them before the next. I don't know if gets Morbius, but it definitely gets Moon Knight.
So no,
Morbius won't be out yet.
Yeah, no, we won't.
I'll have Moon Knight.
I mean, the day of, I think it drops on a.
No, it drops on Wednesday.
Oh, it is Wednesday.
Oh, but Wednesday's my late night. I won't be able to watch it before.
Yeah,
I got to stay for gaming.
It's okay.
We'll figure out stuff.
Okay, I'm about to say we got our next topic already figured. We'll be all right.
So I'm gonna go over the comics that are coming out next week.
Yes.
So we can wrap this up. So from DC, Batman FaZe Clan. Do you know what FaZe Clan is?
Yeah, the gamer group.
Yeah.
I think we touched on this.
So much.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love games and watching gamers and stuff, but I don't follow Facebook.
But writing themselves into a comic book.
I mean, if you have the hype and the following, and
I guess.
I mean, because I tell you right now, if I did, I would be in a Batman book.
Sure.
Hands down.
I would not read it. Sorry.
Fine.
Then there's Batman Beyond the White Knight. So did you ever read Batman White Knight?
Yeah, amazing. Where Joker goes sane.
Yeah, Joker's sane.
Amazing
Batman kills him and is yeah. So this is Beyond the White Knight. Batman One Dark Knight #2. I'm very excited about this. This is written and drawn by Jock, who's an amazing artist. And the first issue was very good. DC vs. Vampire 6, we find out who the Vampire King is. So that'll be exciting.
Okay.
Then we have
Vampire
Shadow War
well.
Alpha. So this is the crossover between Batman, Deathstroke, and Robin. So this starts
all
this
3
week.
books coming together.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Swamp Thing 11. So it was only supposed to be a 10-issue series. They extended it to 16 issues. So this is the first issue.
Oh, Swamp Thing's getting hotter and hotter by the year, man.
Yep.
I love it. I'm a big Swamp Thing fan.
Marvel, we have the final issue of this current run of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 93. Mm-hmm. It's going to restart at 1. We have final issue of Dark Ages. We have Ghost Rider 2, Hulk 5, Smastronaut, Immortal X-Men #1. This is the new big X-Men book. X-Men Latitude #1. So this was a digital-only book that they are releasing in print now. And then, let's see, anything else big? Astro City, that was then special. This is Kurt Busiek, a series that he wrote before. He's bringing it back to Image. It was Image, and it was Vertigo, then it was Image, so it's been kind of all over the place.
Kind of weird. Okay.
Let's see here. Any other big books out this week? Rogue Sun 2, Radiant Black 13. I love those. Something Skeleton Children is back.
21, baby.
21.
Let's go.
A book I've already read.
Oh, I'm hyped, man. You already read it? Is it fire?
It's great.
Oh.
Spawn 328. Step by Bloody Step, #2. This was such a great book. So this is a completely silent book.
Okay.
But like,
so it's just all art, no words.
Yes. And the first, it's written by Simon Spurrier, who I love. But I mean, as a writer, writing a silent book seems very difficult. So, and the first issue was just amazing.
Okay, that sounds pretty dope. Usagi, hold up.
What, Usagi Yojimbo?
Jimbo got something going on?
Oh yeah, he's got 2 series going on right now. One of the miniseries just ended. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh man, there's actually a Transformers book. I don't usually read like the Transformers and Ninja Turtles, like those, what are they called? Yeah, they're not my thing. There is a Transformers book that's coming out that's like a post-apocalyptic, like the world has ended and there's like one Transformer left type thing. I'm curious about this, and it's in black and white. So yeah. All right, so that's everything that's coming out next week.
Okay. Guys, let us know how you're feeling about Morbius and Moon Knight, where you think the shows are going to go, if you think they're going to have really any relevance to whatever. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next week.